everybody, back with brand new Cabral Concept every single day here on the show, trying to bring you the best of integrative health and functional medicine. Today, we're going to be talking about, can you detox spike proteins? We'll talk just a little bit about spike proteins if you're unfamiliar with them, but you probably noticed that over the last 4 or 5 years or so, there's more and more talk about viruses actually with spike proteins and how they can remain in the body. So one of the issues that we've talked about, I'm not sure that we can say this, maybe we can, but with the different types of corona-based viruses, COVID-19 based issues, there was a particular form of a virus that's been around before that contains spikes essentially on the virus itself. Those spikes can be more inflammatory. They can create more cytokines in the body, creating more inflammation, even though that's part of the healing act. And this could lead to then inflammation in the lungs, the heart, etc. Again, I'm not going to go down all of the different side streets on this, but what I want to share with you is that this is actually a real thing. So spike proteins do remain in the body and have remained in the body, and this is actually well seen for anywhere from a couple days. Some people clear them really well, and some people have them a month or maybe a little bit longer. Then what they found is actually fragments of spike protein and spike protein-based DNA for months afterwards, months later. Sometimes people are referring to this as the underlying root cause of long COVID or post-viral inflammatory syndrome, but I don't really believe it is. So what happens a lot of times is that people have comorbidities, which means they might get a virus when they've had high blood pressure. They have cardiovascular disease. They have type 2 diabetes. They have a BMI of 30 plus. They have different conditions which already inflame their body. And then when they get a virus, it ignites even more inflammation, because inflammation is part of the healing process to clear this virus from the body, which then, though, causes even more destruction in the body, because the body is trying to create a fever. It's trying to create inflammation, cytokines, histamines, etc., ramp up macrophages and a lot more of those white blood cells to clear it. Now, in the process, though, there is a little bit of a war going on inside of the body. And if the body is already that has a rain barrel that's essentially been overflowing with dis-ease, then we get a lot more issues. And now, having said that, there are other people with just a predisposition to autoimmune, higher levels of histamines. They might have heavy metals. They might have Epstein-Barr virus or HPV or CMV. And so then this ignites, it fills up that rain barrel. And that's why they can also feel a lot of the symptoms of a greater viral load. They can't knock down the virus as easily, so it begins to build in their body. That's why some people knock down a virus within 72 hours and they feel so much better in 3 days. Some people, it's more like 2 weeks. And again, some of it's genetic, meaning I have those poor genetics. And so when I get a virus, if it's a stronger virus, I know the things to do. Like, I'm on it. But no matter what, for me, it's still probably going to be 4 to 7 days, where if I didn't have certain genes, okay, the same thing, get rid of it in 3 days, maybe 4 days, no problem. But then if I didn't do what I was doing, it might be 2 or 3 weeks, because these things can absolutely be with you for that long. And back in the day when I was 17 to 27 years old, I would just get literally bronchitis and virus after virus from essentially, let's call it Halloween, all the way through Memorial Day. That's the truth. And it was absolutely brutal. So I would just go from a new sinus infection to new sinus infection. And that is because I didn't know the right things to do. My rain barrel was overflowing, and it made everything that much worse. So that's what they call, again, post-viral inflammatory syndrome. It's not long COVID. Long COVID is post-viral inflammatory syndrome. And that is because your mitochondria are so wrecked as well because of the inflammation that's been going on in the body. They need time to repair and rebuild as well. And if you're not doing the right things, you just feel exhausted all the time. I have a lot of shows on that. I'll try to link them up for you here today. That's at stevencabral.com/3548. I'll definitely link up some of those post-viral inflammatory syndrome, long COVID-based shows. Okay, so let's move on though. We do know spike protein's real. We do know that it can remain in the body for days to potentially months, or at least as fragments is what's been seen. Now, there's a lot of people out there, and again, I think they're doing some good work, but there's some people out there claiming that this is what enables you to detox spike proteins from the body. And I'm here to share with you that it's a maybe, but I'm going to share with you what that maybe is. So I can't give any medical advice, medical treatment, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but there is no human clinical trial. So again, I like to be unbiased, because here's the thing. I want myself and my family to know how to overcome these things as fast as humanly possible, right? I like to use them in my practice with our private clients, and I like to share them with our community. But I'm never going to break your trust and share things that we don't necessarily know. So we don't have any human clinical trials on this, but what we have is some in vitro based trials. So basically, we look at it in a lab and we say, these are the nutrients that seem to help. And there aren't a lot right now, but these ones seem to be helpful, and I'll also share with why. So nattokinase is the first one. This is essentially a proteolytic enzyme that's especially good for the heart and arteries to help clean out fibrin or fibrinogen. Okay, great one. We use it along with what's called serrapeptase. Serrapeptase, great as well as finding proteins and tissues that shouldn't be there. We use them all the time, not medically, of course, for cysts and tumors and cleaning up debris. I take 2 every morning. So nattokinase, serrapeptase, 2 great ones called proteolytic enzymes. All right, I can't link to any of these. I'll share with you exactly what I do, but I can't link to any. Then there are a few more that, again, seem to, no clinical trials yet, seem to, at least maybe in vitro, okay, or anecdotally with a lot of my colleagues, and that is bromelain, another essentially proteolytic enzyme. I mean, that's what it does. It goes in and helps to eat up scar tissue and helps repair wounds. You don't want to take it right away, but after about 5 days or so. And also curcumin. So we've got curcumin as an antimicrobial. A lot of people just think it's an anti-inflammatory. Amazing anti-inflammatory. But it actually helps with blood sugar, and it helps with microbes in the body as well. So really powerful. Again, I can't give any medical advice, but a lot of great usage and clinical trials for cancer-based support as well. All right, the last one is N-acetylcysteine. NAC, sometimes called NAC. It is a direct precursor to glutathione. However, NAC does something also a little bit different. NAC is phenomenal at help loosening mucosal-based secretions in the nasal passages and helping with ear, nose, and throat-based issues. So I've talked about that quite a bit. There's potentially I shouldn't say obviously, but with bromelain, curcumin, maybe NAC, the ability to help run interference with some of the spike-based protein, the ACE2 and immunomodulation. So it's not a lot right now, but if you were to say, what can I do in order when I get a virus, or to help right now if you're feeling imbalanced, those would be some to look at. Now, the nice thing is you don't need to take them all individually. We use a product called Sinus Support. I'll be doing an updated immunity protocol. So basically like the protocol that I'll just say I do when I get a virus. And that's, well, why don't I just do that over the next week or so, and then I'll link that up for you. But essentially there's a product called Sinus Support, clinically proven to help with COVID-like viruses. And that is because it also has licorice root in it. Now, this is a product with real clinical dosages: 200 milligrams of bromelain, 750 milligrams of NAC, 100 milligrams of licorice root. It has thyme and much more. So this is an immune system booster, but also for the ear, nose, throat, the sinuses. So any like ear, nose, throat, chest, all of the above. That's what we use it for. And you would do essentially 3 capsules 2 to 3 times a day when you're dealing with immune-based issues. And then another product called proteolytic enzymes. So the first one that is Sinus Support, that can be taken with meals or away from meals. The the proteolytic enzymes should be taken 2 upon waking. When you're dealing with potentially viral-based issues, you could also take 2 before bed. And the last one is a product called InflamaSoothe. This is a natural prostaglandin inhibitor. So it works like an ibuprofen, but naturally. And so there aren't the side effects of the kidney-based issues, the stomach ulcers, the potential heart issues. This has a full gram of curcumin. It has Indian frankincense, it has ginger, it has so many of the other natural anti-inflammatories. So that's in addition, obviously, you're going to take your vitamin D3, you're going to take your vitamin C, but this is when maybe you're dealing with one of those stronger viruses, great to have on hand. And that's what we do. We have them on hand in my house. I don't give everyone the proteolytic enzymes all the time. I decided to start using them certainly a couple years ago when I was really detailing a lot of high performance health, but maybe it's something cyclical. Maybe you do it for 8 weeks to 12 weeks, once or twice a year. Some people, if they have heart-based issues or anything in the family, maybe they do a lower dose, like 1 or 2 upon waking. The sinus support, easy, can be taken on a daily basis if you want, at a lower level of just 3 capsules total per day. Then if you need to ramp it up, you ramp it up. Inflammasoothe can be used really by anybody on an ongoing basis as a naturally anti-inflammatory. All right, so those are the ones that we do know that there seems to be some in vitro and maybe stronger anecdotal evidence around. A lot of people as an adjunct like to add on omega-3s and of course a B complex, but there's nothing that says those specifically help to detox proteins. Okay, other ones with no real research, but people are leaning towards, one is nicotine. I did a whole show on the pros and cons of nicotine. Definitely that was, I believe, an unbiased show. Like, here are the pros, here are the definite cons. That I'll link up to that at stephencabral.com/3548. And then binders, which would be something like the universal binder. It has bentonite clay, it has bentonite clay, fulvic acid, humic acid. It has TUDCA, it has silica, which is bamboo shoot. What else is that? Activated charcoal. All of those are great. That's more for when you are moving things to the intestines and then binding them up and moving it. So not really evidence that it's going to move into the body and detox spike proteins. So I just wanted to share that. Some people are talking about EMF-based exposure. No real evidence yet that that's allowing to spike persistence. Some people talking about probiotics. I think probiotics is a good one to use, like the daily probiotic support or clean gut probiotic, simply because when you have a lot of inflammation in the body, it can actually begin to target the gut and the gut wall itself. So not a bad idea, but again, no big clinical evidence yet. However, some studies are linking COVID-19 and those types of viruses with reduced bifidobacterium, as I was talking about before. So a good like 50 billion probiotic is going to be really helpful. And those are the major ones. So what I wanted to share with you is that we're low on clinical trials right now as to what's working best. And of course, why? Because if you can't patent it, I mean, are they really going to do clinical trials on nattokinase? Probably not, right? It's going to be more on antiviral-based drugs. So your best bet right now, in my opinion, use something like the sinus support, the proteolytic enzymes, and the inflammasoothe. Still use your vitamin D3, still use your zinc, still use your vitamin C. Those are your go-to just overall immune modulators. Those are fantastic. Things like Hispro with quercetin helps to drive the zinc deeper into the tissues to help kill viruses. That's called a zinc ionophore. So that's also fantastic. But those are my main ones. I can't link any of those up because that's not legal. So of course we wouldn't do that when talking about these viruses. You can find all the products we use at stephencabral.com/shop and look at the ingredients, look at the dosages, and of course, then just choose whatever brand works best for you. Hopefully this was helpful, everybody. I appreciate you. I thank you. Do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.